While I was laying my father to rest, they attempted to auction off my $2.3 million ranch. I cut the funeral short, returning at 6 a.m. to discover strangers with clipboards roaming my property, a massive, for auction, sign planted in my front yard, and HOA President Karen Whitfield dialing 911 to accuse me of trespassing on land my family has owned for 3 generations. I never joined their HOA, never surrendered a single inch of my property, yet they thought my absence during grief gave them the chance to seize everything. They chose the worst moment and the wrong person. What would you do if your family's legacy was being sold off while you were 800 miles away mourning? Share your thoughts below, because my next move turned their sham auction into a complete reckoning. I'm Jake Morrison, a third-generation Colorado cattle rancher. My 47-acre homestead, in our family since my grandfather purchased the raw land in 1967 and built every structure by hand. The cedar fence, the barn, even the gravel driveway to our doorstep, remains my home. After my wife Sarah passed from cancer 2 years ago, it's just me and my 16-year-old daughter Emma preserving our heritage with our 30 cattle. 3 years ago, everything shifted when developers constructed the Maplewood Heights subdivision next to my ranch. Within months, they established an HOA, electing Karen Whitfield, a former Denver city planner with grand visions of property values and community standards, as president. Karen's the kind who measures neighbors' lawns with a ruler and issues fines for Christmas lights lingering past January 2nd. Trouble began immediately. First, Karen claimed my cedar fence overlapped their common area by 18 inches. Then came complaints about my cattle's odor in summer. Finally, she argued my gravel road violated their precious entrance median. Every month brought fresh demands, new threats, and another attempt to force me into rules I never agreed to. Last Tuesday, I received the call every child dreads: my father suffered a fatal heart attack in Montana. I left at once, expecting to stay a week to handle funeral plans and his affairs. Emma stayed with her friend's family, and my neighbor Bill Hendricks agreed to tend the cattle twice daily. But Thursday night, Emma texted me something chilling. "Dad, get home now. Something's wrong at the ranch." I drove through the night, arriving as dawn lit the front range, only to see not my grazing cattle but 2 men in suits measuring my fence line with professional tools. A huge wooden sign in my yard read, "Maplewood Heights Auction." I parked my truck, boots crunching on the gravel my grandfather laid 50 years ago, and approached. "Gentlemen, what are you doing on my land?" I asked. The taller man barely glanced up from his clipboard. "Sir, we're assessing this property for a public sale scheduled this Saturday." "This is my ranch," I said, voice calm despite the fury rising. "You're trespassing." The shorter man smirked, saying, "Sir, we have legal permission. Don't interfere." I reached for my phone to call the sheriff, but the taller man was already on his, reporting, "We've got a confrontational subject here." Minutes later, a white Mercedes SUV roared up my driveway, dust coating my grandfather's fence posts. Karen Whitfield stepped out, dressed for a corporate meeting, not a dawn raid to steal a ranch. "Mr. Morrison," she said with her infuriating fake smile, "you're violating a court order. These men have every right to be here." "What court order?" I demanded. "This is my land, get them out." Karen's smile vanished as she dialed 911. "Yes, I need police now. A trespasser is threatening our legal assessment team." 20 minutes later, Deputy Maria Santos arrived in her cruiser. I knew Maria. Her daughter was Emma's friend, and we'd sat together at school events. She looked puzzled by the call to my ranch. Karen launched into her act. "Officer, this man is obstructing a legal property evaluation. We have full authority under Colorado law, Mom." Deputy Santos said cautiously, "Can you show me your paperwork?" Karen handed over a thick folder, the top document labeled, "Notice of Property Forfeiture," signed by the so-called Maplewood Heights Community Authority. According to Karen's papers, I owed $47 in fines for violations, and my fence's encroachment triggered adverse possession in reverse. I stared, stunned. "Maria, I've never seen this before. No one sent me any notice." "Ignorance of HOA rules isn't an excuse, Mr. Morrison," Karen said smugly. "We tried certified mail multiple times. Refusing delivery counts as acknowledgement." "I never refused any mail," I countered, showing Deputy Santos my property deed and tax records on my phone. "This ranch has been ours for 60 years. Santos reviewed both sets of documents, her frown deepening. "Ma'am, county records show this is Mr. Morrison's property. The HOA has authority under Colorado statutes." Karen insisted. "His fence encroachment activated our abandonment clause. He owes $47,000 in fines." The 47,000 figure hit like a punch. 47,000 for a fence built before Karen was born. Deputy Santos looked as baffled as I felt. "This is a civil issue. I can't arrest anyone without a warrant, and I see no criminal activity." Then remove him from HOA land, Karen demanded, pointing at the fence. Ma'am, I'm on my own property, I said firmly. Deputy Santos shook her head. Without a court order or clear trespassing evidence, I'm not removing anyone. This needs to go through the courts. The auction is Saturday, Karen snapped. This delay costs us thousands in fees. That's when I noticed something infuriating. The auction sign was 2 feet inside my fence line, planted in soil my family had worked for decades. Karen, that sign's on my land. Remove it, or I will. Touch it, and I'll have you arrested for vandalism, she threatened. I tried calling my lawyer, Tom Bradley, but got his voicemail. He was on vacation until Wednesday. 2 other attorneys had no weekend availability. The timing was too perfect, suspiciously so. Timing is everything, Mr. Morrison, Karen said with that smirk. While we argued, the assessors kept measuring my fence. I retrieved my grandfather's 1967 survey, yellowed but legally binding, showing my fence was 3 feet inside my property line, no encroachment. This survey's outdated, the lead assessor said dismissively. We have a 2022 survey showing clear encroachment. Updated by who? I demanded. I never authorized any survey. The HOA commissioned a professional survey to settle the boundary dispute, Karen said smoothly. Then my neighbor Bill Hendricks pulled up in his old Ford pickup, dust trailing like a battle flag. Bill, 73, a retired county surveyor, knew my fence's exact location. Jake, I tried calling you, Bill said, climbing out stiffly. These people were here yesterday too, measuring and photographing. Sir, this is private HO business, Karen said coldly. Bill laughed dryly. Lady, I've lived here 40 years. That fence hasn't moved since Jake's grandfather built it. Neighbors from the subdivision began gathering, some supporting Karen, others uneasy. Mrs. Patterson, whose dog I'd rescued twice, avoided eye contact. 2 unfamiliar neighbors started filming with their phones. Document everything? Karen told them. We need proof of his obstruction. Then Deputy Santos delivered the first good news. Under Colorado law, adverse possession requires 18 years of continuous occupation. If this fence has been here 58 years, predating your subdivision, Morrison's deed takes precedence over HOA covenants. The legal principle was clear: prior use trumps later restrictions. My grandfather's fence outranked Karen's power grab. But Karen didn't relent. We'll see what the emergency board meeting decides at 2 p.m. Karen called an HOA board meeting at her house, excluding me despite my stake in the outcome. I showed up anyway. This is a private meeting, Karen said when I knocked. You're not an HOA member. I'm the owner of the property you're trying to steal, I replied. I have a right to defend myself. The board included 5 members: Karen as president, Dr. Richard Stanton as vice president, Jennifer Walsh as secretary, Marcus Chen as treasurer, and Patricia Vance as member at large. I later learned Jennifer worked for Karen's real estate company, and Dr. Stanton had invested $50,000 in Karen's business. A rigged setup. I presented my evidence methodically: the 1967 deed with survey, continuous tax records, and my grandfather's notes on the fence's installation. These are outdated, Karen dismissed. Current law applies. According to whose survey? I demanded. I never agreed to one. Karen produced a 2022 survey by Robert Kumar of Mountain Westland Services, a name I'd never heard. I want to contact this surveyor, I said. That's unnecessary. The survey's certified, Karen replied quickly. Dr. Stanton read from the HOA covenant: any encroachment on common areas equals abandonment of property rights. They claimed I'd abandoned the disputed land, giving it to the HOA. Jennifer Walsh showed 2021 meeting minutes, alleging I'd been notified and didn't respond. I'd never received any notice. Maybe we should pause until legal counsel reviews this, Marcus Chen suggested, looking uneasy. I've hired Secure Shield security for the auction, Karen announced. Given Mr. Morrison's hostility, we need protection. You're hiring security to steal my land? I asked. Patricia Vance, the only board member with a conscience, spoke up. Karen, maybe we should rethink this. We're moving forward, Karen cut her off. Then I learned Colorado Revised Statute 38333116. HOAs can't claim property through covenant violations alone. Abandonment requires clear intent and physical vacancy. I'd occupied, maintained, and paid taxes on my land for decades. The bombshell came when I demanded their alleged correspondence. Karen showed emails sent to J. Morrison, Ranch Gmail.com, but my email is Jake Morris, Ranch Gmail, typo. Typographical errors don't negate proper notice, Karen argued. You never verified my contact info, I countered. How's that proper notice? Bill Hendricks, who'd followed me, confirmed no surveyors had been on my land. I checked Jake's place daily. I'd have noticed strangers with equipment. Are you a licensed surveyor? Dr. Stanton asked. Retired county surveyor, still licensed, Bill replied. That fence is exactly where it's always been. The vote was rigged. Karen, Dr. Stanton, and Jennifer voted yes to proceed. Marcus abstained. Patricia voted no. The motion passed 3-1. You're making a grave legal mistake, I warned. We'll see, Karen replied. Sunday morning brought a bigger shock. Karen hosted a pre-auction tour of my inherited ranch, guiding 3 potential buyers while pointing out development potential. I sat on my porch with coffee, watching strangers roam my land. When buyers neared, I introduced myself. Hi, I'm Jake Morrison, the owner. Interested in buying stolen property. The first buyer, a Denver developer, left after speaking with me. The second, a young couple, wavered between Karen's pitch and my warnings. The third, a real estate investor, asked Karen about title insurance. Ma'am, I need clear title before bidding, he said. Karen fumbled, saying, all documents will be provided at the auction. My neighbor Tommy Martinez, 23, who runs a YouTube channel, Rural Real Talk, with 47,000 subscribers, filmed everything from his window. Jake, this is crazy, Tommy said, jogging over with his camera. I'm posting this online. Initially hesitant, I agreed after seeing Karen's auction flyers around the subdivision. That evening, Tommy's live stream, Insane HOA Trying to Steal Neighbor's Ranch, drew 847 viewers in its first hour, with comments pouring in nationwide supporting me. By Monday evening, Channel 9's Sarah Kim called for interviews. Karen agreed, then backed out. Dr. Stanton refused to talk. Channel 9 ran the story. OA ranch seizure sparks legal questions. Emma discovered Colorado requires permits for property auctions, and the HOA had none. Dad, they can't legally hold an auction, she said. I confirmed with the county clerk Tuesday morning auctions need a 30-day permit with proof of ownership. Sir, they can't auction without permits, the clerk said. Yet Karen doubled down, hiring Secure Shield security, 2 armed guards, a patrol car, and barriers. When I confronted the security supervisor, he seemed uneasy. Sir, we're just maintaining order. What if this property isn't legally theirs to auction? I asked. He promised to review their contract. Colorado Revised Statute 1214 4-1 requires state-issued auction permits with proof of ownership. Unlicensed auctions are fraudulent. Takeaway always check permits before bidding. The neighborhood split on next door, with pro-Jake and pro-Karen factions arguing. Neighbors shared stories of Karen's OA harassment. Mrs. Patterson admitted Karen tried fining her $12 for roses. I contacted the Colorado Bar Association for an emergency referral, getting Sarah Chen, a property rights attorney. This sounds like actionable fraud, Sarah said. Tuesday night, Karen sent a certified letter demanding I vacate by Friday, citing a non-existent restraining order. Sarah's assistant confirmed no such order existed. Someone's lying about court orders, Sarah said. Wednesday's meeting with Sarah Chen changed everything. A sharp 40-something attorney, Sarah recognized HOA fraud instantly. Jake, bring every HOA document, she said, spreading papers like a detective. Reviewing them, her expression grew grim. Jake, this OA has no legal authority over your property. She showed the 2019 subdivision plat, excluding my ranch. The developer agreement stated, pre-existing properties retain full autonomy. Your land was explicitly outside HOA jurisdiction, Sarah explained. They have no right over it. The smoking gun. Karen's 2021 covenant extension claiming authority over my land was unapproved by the county and unsigned by me. This is a fraudulent document. Karen forged your consent, Sarah said. I recalled my grandfather's 2018 developer talks, insisting on ranch independence. His notes in the family Bible confirmed the developer promised no HOA control. Sarah found an email from the developer to the county planner. Morrison Ranch remains exempt from HOA authority. County approval excluded my ranch. Jake, your legal protection is ironclad, Sarah said. Sarah called the surveyor Robert Kumar, whose name was on Karen's survey. I never surveyed for Maplewood Heights. Kumar said over speakerphone. That signature's forged. I'm filing criminal charges. Sarah uncovered Karen's motive. Her real estate company had a listing agreement for my ranch, earning her a $140,000 commission. Stanton's wife worked for Karen's firm. A criminal conspiracy. Sarah filed an emergency injunction to stop the auction, requested fraud, forgery, and conspiracy investigations, and contacted the DA and Real Estate Commission. We're not just stopping the auction, Jakey. We're dismantling their scheme, she said. Thursday morning, my kitchen became a war room. Sarah, Bill, Tommy, and Kumar planned like generals. We have 48 hours to build an airtight case, Sarah said, pointing to a timeline. Evidence included my 1967 deed, the 2018 developer agreement, county exemptions, the forged survey, and Karen's listing. This is the strongest property rights case I've seen, Sarah said. Witnesses included Bill, retired surveyor, Kumar's a forged signature, Bob Sullivan's retired HOA attorney, Lisa Martinez, county clerk on permits, And James Walsh, the developer, Jennifer's ex-husband. Karen never filed a proper lien. Colorado law requires a legal process, and her $47,000 fine was baseless. You can't claim debt without due process, Sarah said. Sarah contacted the FBI's white-collar crime division as the fraud crossed federal lines. Agent Rodriguez confirmed, this looks like systematic fraud. Tommy coordinated media, and Legal Eagle analyzed the case. Save Jake's Ranch. Group on Nextdoor gained 127 signatures. Patterson revealed Karen's $5,000 garden fine threat. 3 homeowners shared similar stories. Emma found Karen's company was nearly bankrupt, needing my ranch's commission. Sarah filed restraining orders and coordinated with the sheriff. Tommy planned to live stream the confrontation. We're turning their auction into their downfall, Sarah said. Under Colorado's Consumer Protection Act, fraudulent real estate practices carry criminal penalties. Forging Kumar's signature was federal identity theft. Conspiracy could mean 5 years. Take away white-collar crime needs a clear paper trail. We had it. Backup plans included the injunction, Karen's arrest, public exposure, or federal charges. We're not just winning, Sarah said. We're ensuring this never happens again. Thursday night, Emma called from her friend's house. Dad, this might get messy. Are you ready? Honey, Grandpa didn't raise quitters, and neither did I said. Bill clapped my shoulder. Jake, your grandfather would be proud. Sarah's subpoenas uncovered Karen's emails showing premeditation. One to Dr. Stanton read, once we seize Morrison's land, we split the profits. His reply of, is this legal? Karen, legal is what we make it. Tommy's video hit 847,000 views with 94% positive comments. Stand your ground, Jake. I sat on my porch watching the sunset, feeling hope for the first time in months. Friday morning, Karen panicked after Sarah's injunction filing, calling a 7 a.m. HOA meeting to rush the auction. We need to hold it today, she told the board. Karen, we can't change the date now. Dr. Stanton protested. I'm president. We can do what I say, Karen snapped. Her attorney, David Pierce, called. Karen, this injunction is serious. You could face criminal charges. You said the covenant was legal. Karen retorted. I said it might be. This is different, Pierce said, quitting. Karen ordered Jennifer to delete OA emails. That's obstruction of justice, Jennifer warned. Karen threatened her job, but Jennifer had forwarded the emails. Karen offered the county clerk $5,000 to backdate a permit. That's bribery, the clerk said, recording it and contacting the sheriff. Secure Shield canceled their contract after reviewing Sarah's documents. We can't support illegal activities, the supervisor said. You're breaching contract. Karen yelled. Better than aiding fraud, he replied. Marcus Chun resigned, and Patricia Vance demanded a vote to stop the auction. Maybe we should pause, Dr. Stanton said. We're past that, Karen insisted. Jennifer recorded the meeting. 3 news vans arrived Friday afternoon, Channel 9, Fox 31, and Denver 7. Karen hid Dr. Stanton's interview flopped. We're legally justified. Even with a forged survey, the reporter asked. Forged, Stanton stammered. Tommy's live stream hit 12,000 viewers, with legal experts in the chat. Donations poured in for my defense. This is bigger than Jake's Ranch, Tommy said. FBI agent Rodriguez interviewed me, confirming systematic fraud. Kumar filed identity theft charges and a $500,000 lawsuit against the OA. This is the worst fraud I've seen, Kumar told Tommy's camera. Federal wire fraud and identity theft carry mandatory sentences. Conspiracy allows prosecuting all involved. Takeaway federal fraud has a 95% conviction rate. Friday evening, 23 yards displayed pro Jake signs, 7 backed Karen, and fire Karen signs appeared. The sheriff prepared arrests. Karen hired private investigators to dig up dirt on me. They found nothing. Jennifer gave the FBI Karen's email archive, showing 6 months of planned fraud. I can't do this anymore, Jennifer told Rodriguez. My ranch became a hub for supporters, Sarah, Bill, Tommy, and neighbors. We're ready for tomorrow, Sarah said. Let's take my land back. I replied. Saturday dawned cold, frost on the pasture. By 6 a.m., Sarah, Bill, Tommy, Kumar, 23 neighbors, and 4 news crews gathered. Sheriff's deputies surrounded the property. We tell the truth today, I said. At 7 a.m., Karen arrived with Dr. Stanton and 2 unlicensed Patriot Defense Services guards. Those aren't real security. They're for intimidation, Sarah whispered. By 8 a.m., 67 people gathered, supporters, neighbors, bidders, and media. Tommy's live stream hit 18,000 viewers, with helicopters overhead. Karen looked panicked. At 80:30, Sarah presented the injunction. Ms. Whitfield, you must stop this auction. I don't recognize your authority, Karen snapped. Sarah replied, this is a court order. Karen tore up the papers on camera. Sheriff Martinez arrived at 9 a.m., reviewing the injunction. Ma'am, this is valid. Comply. He's trespassing on AA land, Karen insisted. County records say this is his property, Martinez said. Kumar confronted Karen. You forged my signature. I've never worked for your HOA. The crowd gasped. Karen stammered, I don't know what you're talking about. At 9:15, FBI agent Rodriguez arrived. Miss Whitfield, we need to discuss federal fraud charges. I'm conducting legal business, Karen said, voice breaking. Jennifer showed Rodriguez the emails. Once we get Morrison's land, we're set. Jennifer, that's privileged. Karen screamed. I'm your victim, not your attorney, Jennifer replied. At 9:45, Karen tried starting the auction without an auctioneer. This proceeds as planned. Sheriff Martinez ordered her down. This is halted by court order. Rodriguez produced a warranty. Karen Whitfield, you're under arrest for conspiracy, fraud, identity theft, and attempted property theft. This is harassment? Karen shrieked. You have the right to remain silent, Rodriguez said. The crowd cheered. Dr. Stanton cooperated. Karen said the survey was legitimate. I didn't know it was fraud. The Patriot Guards fled unlicensed in Colorado. News captured Karen's arrest. Tommy Stream hit 47,000 viewers. Neighbors apologized. Jake, Karen threatened me, Mrs. Patterson said, crying. I pulled the auction sign from my land, breaking it over my knee to cheers. Sheriff Martinez addressed 200 people. Karen Whitfield is arrested for conspiracy, fraud, identity theft, wire fraud, and attempted theft. Karen screamed, This isn't over, Morrison. I replied, This land's been ours for 60 years, it'll be ours for 60 more. Tommy's stream showed the crowd destroying auction materials, hitting 52,000 viewers. Some things aren't for sale. Family land is one. I told his camera. News photographed me by my ranch house, flag flying, cattle grazing, fence intact. The caption, Colorado rancher defeats HOA land grab. A month later, Karen pleaded guilty to federal fraud, receiving 3 years and $500,000 in restitution. Dr. Stanton got probation and a $50,000 fine. Jennifer got immunity. The FBI found Karen defrauded 17 homeowners. The HOA elected Patricia Vance as president, who apologized to me and rewrote covenants for transparency. Kumar won a $750,000 lawsuit for identity theft. Karen was banned from real estate. 6 months later, I hosted a property rights victory festival raising $47,000 for a legal defense fund. Tommy's series hit 2.7 million views, inspiring a Know Your Property Rights channel. The community healed. Mrs. Patterson brings pies. Mike Chen fixes fences. Emma's senior project on property rights is framed beside the 1967 deed. Morrison v. Maplewood Heights is taught in law schools, and Sarah Chen speaks at conferences. Federal guidelines now have harsher penalties for property fraud. Every evening, I watch the sunset from my porch, cattle grazing on land my family's tended for 3 generations. The fence my grandfather built stands firm, a symbol that some things can't be stolen. This was never me versus them, I told Tommy's camera. It was right versus wrong, protecting family, property, and the principle that in America, you can't steal land with lies. The video ended with my ranch at dusk, flag waving, cattle settling. Text read, Jake Morrison lives on his family's ranch. Karen Whitfield is in prison. The HOA is transparent, and property values rose. The case is taught in ethics courses, and a property rights hotline exists because of us. Emma will inherit this ranch, knowing we fought corruption and won. If you face HOA harassment, document everything. I told Tommy's viewers, know your rights. They can't take what's yours. Stand up because in America, property and family matter.